morning, student. So today is our second session of Introduction to Python Programming and Class 11th Revision 2. Yesterday's session we have covered features of Python, tokens, different types of keyboard comments and all these things. And today we are going to cover the identifiers and the literals and of course data types. Identifiers and literals, they are part of the programs. They are a very important part of the programs, and we are going to cover them in detail today. So identifiers, as you know, identifiers, it is to identify something. These are the name given to the different user defined entities of the programs. In program we create different type of components, like we create variables, we create constants names, we create functions, we create classes and objects and all these things. So to identify, to distinguish between them, we give name to them. It is totally depend upon us what names we want to give, how we want to call them, or how we want to use them. So the name given to these components, entities, are known as identifiers. Now, of course, we can give any name to them, but there are certain naming rules which we have to follow when giving a name to an identifier. So some of the rules which are very important rules which we have to follow is: identifier name should contain alphabets, A to Z alphabets, either in capital letter or in a small letter. Identifier can have digits. You can use 0 to 9 digits in between them, and you can use an underscore sign also. Underscore sign is available on your minus keyboard. Okay, on keyboard minus key you can find the underscore sign. So you can use alphabets, you can use digits, you can use underscore sign, but you cannot use special symbols. Like you can use minus sign, you can use exclamation sign, or at the rate sign, or hash sign, or dollar sign, or percentage sign, or even space bar, space. These special symbols, special character, but anything other than alphabets, digits and underscore is not allowed in identifier. If your identifier contains any of these characters, then it will generate an error. The second important rule: the first letter of an identifier should be an underscore sign or an alphabet. It means you cannot start an identifier with digits. If your identifier is starting with a digit, then it is an invalid identifier. You can have any length of identifier. Any length is allowed. Like you can have 10 character identifier, or you can have 100 character identifier. Even you can have maximum 256 character identifier also. But try to keep identifier short and meaningful. That is very important. Short and meaningful. Like if I say there are 3 radius x, y, z, so x, y, z, their name will not specify whether they will be 3 numbers, or they are 3 names, or they are 3 radius, or they are 3 diameters. But if somewhere I am writing rad 1, rad 2, rad 2, rad 3, or radius 1, radius 2, radius 3, so these are the small names also, as well as they identify that radius 1 is first radius, radius 2 is second radius, radius 3 is third radius. So in this way you can have a short and meaningful name. Identifier should not be a keyword or reserved word. You cannot use an identifier with the name if, you cannot use an identifier with the name while or true. Remember true, capital T, RUE. So you cannot have an identifier with the name true. Since Python is a case sensitive programming language, so identifiers are case sensitive. Now regarding underscore, I would like to tell you that you can start a variable with underscore in 2 special cases. The first case, you start a variable with underscore sign, single underscore sign, to distinguish between public and private identifiers. Note it will not create a private identifier or a public identifier. With the help of underscore sign, we simply distinguish. Suppose I want to create a private identifier. I want to distinguish it in my programming later on, that this is a private and this is a public. So what I can do, all the variables or the identifiers, all the constant names which I want to use privately, I will start them with the underscore sign. And those which will be public, I can start them normally. This is the first case. And the second case, you can use 2 consecutive underscore sign in the beginning and end of the identifier in case of magic methods. if you are creating a magic methods, like there is a magic methods called init to initialize a class, there is a magic method called len to calculate the length of an object. So in such cases you can create them with the help of double underscore sign. These are Python defined methods, you can say double underscore init double underscore. This double underscore is also called dunder. So you can use dunder, init, dunder, len, dunder. So in this way you can create the variables which are having double underscore. You can simply check whether your variable is valid or invalid. Say suppose I am creating a variable here. Say I am creating a variable radius 1 is equal to 10. So this is a radius 1 variable is created. If I say radius 1, you get 10. Say radius 2 is equal to 20. Radius 2, that is 20. Later on say radius 2 is equal to 12.5. So if you say radius 2, now it is 12.5. Earlier it was integer, now it is a float. So this is what dynamic type. Okay, at the runtime we are changing the data type, or we are deciding the data type of a variable of a data. So these are the valid. But if I create say 1 radius is equal to 10, it is invalid. The entire 1 radius, you can see it is in red color, that is invalid. Or if I say radius 1 is equal to 10, that is an error. 1 is error here because we have used a blank space. Or if I say radius $1 is equal to 10, that is an error. So this is how you can create your variables. Literals are the constant values, fixed values inside the program. A value itself in programming is known as literal. Now just to distinguish between constants and variables or identifiers and literals, say if I'm asking what is your name, if I'm asking to someone what is your name, the person come with the reply, my name is Pawan. If I ask the same question with someone else, he says my name is Amit. If I ask the same question with another person, he says my name is Anil. So here the question is, what is your name? Name. So name is an identifier. It is used to identify something. The identification of a person. Okay. So it is an identifier. What? Name is an identifier. But Pawan, Amit, Anil, what are these? These are the values. These are the constant values. They have to be written as it is. Okay. A name can be written as name of student, name of person, identification name, anything. But Pawan cannot be written in any form. Pawan is Pawan. Anil is Anil. Amit is Amit. These are the constant values. So a value itself in the programming is known as a literal, like 23, 23.5, true, hello, 0b 1010. All these things are literals. Now we are having different type of literals depending upon the data types. What type of data you are having in Python, we are having different literals. Like here in our case, you can see we are having mainly 3 type of data type, you can say, the numbers, the text and the collections. So if we start with, there is a data type called Boolean. So its value can be, what Boolean data type can be? Boolean can be true or Boolean can be false. True means happening and false means not happening. True means yes, false means no. True means 1, false means 0. So this true and false both are reserved. They have to use as it is and they have a particular meaning. They are the Boolean values. So they are termed as Boolean constants. Then we are having numbers. Different type of numbers are there. Like we are having whole numbers, that is called integers. A number which is not having any fractional part. Then we are having float number or real number or fractional number. A number which is having a fractional part. And then we are having a complex number. Complex number which is having imaginary part and real part. Now integers, we are having four type of integers. The binary integers, a number system which is having only 1 and 0. The decimal integers, a number system which is having 0 to 9 digits. Octal number system which is having a number between 0 to 7. And hexadecimal number system, a number system which is having between 0 to 9 digits and A to F alphabets, total 16 symbols. Similarly, in numeric we are having float numbers. Float numbers, these are the fractional numbers, numbers with the decimal sign. Decimal sign is compulsory. So these numbers are having fractional parts and they can be represented in two ways. One is floating point notation and another is scientific notation. Complex number, as I had told you, they come with the iota, a plus ib, where a is the real part and b is the imaginary part, because iota cannot be calculated. Square root of -1 cannot be calculated. Then we are having strings. We are having different type of strings. We are having single line string, we are having multi-line string, we are having escape sequences. So these are the strings. Then we are having special data type, none. None means nothing. In other programming languages, this none is known as null. Null means nothing. Nothing is a something. Nothing is a value. Nothing is not zero. Nothing is not blank. Nothing is something. Nothing means no value. So here in Python, if you want to say something null, then we have to use the word none. None is a reserved word with capital N. And then we are having collection, like list, tuple, dictionary, set. We had already covered in class 11th. We will discuss about them in detail in class 12th also. So these are the collections. So you can see these are the numeric literals, like 150, this is decimal integer. 0b, a number starting with 0b is a binary number. A number starting with 0o is an octal number, and a number starting with 0x is a hexadecimal number. Similarly, this is the floating point notation, fractional number 0.01573. Now the position of this decimal will float, will move in a number, that's why it is called floating point notation. And then this is scientific notation. The number is divided into two parts. The first part is known as mantissa and the second part is known as exponent. Mantissa is real number, mantissa is fractional number, and exponent is integer number, and in between them we are having a small e or capital E. This is 10 to the power, like 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. Then we are having complex number, the real part, and then imaginary part. The imaginary part is always suffixed with j, x plus y, j. So imaginary part, we suffix it with the j, that is the imaginary part. Now if you see there, like this is, these are the variables, and if we run this, like this is 150, simple decimal integer number. This is 1110, it is 14 in binary. 0, this is 1 2 4 8. Remember the conversion we have discussed in class 11th. So this is 14, and this is 156. This is what? This is 110 in decimal. 156 in octal means 110 in decimal. Then F1E, this is in hexadecimal, the same thing I had written, and then I am printing here. So if you run it, this is, you can see 150, 14 of binary, what we have discussed, 110 of octal, and then 3870 of from hexadecimal, then 01.573, and this is 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 2. 7.5 into 10 to the power minus 2, that is 0.071. 5. And then the imaginary part of the complex number, real part, this is the real part, this is the imaginary part, and this is the entire complex number. Okay, the complex number is printed into bracket, you can see. Okay, you can check the data type of the variable. If you want to check the data type of variable, you can easily check it, like say a is equal to 3 plus 1.2 j. This is a complex number. Now if I say type a class complex, and if I say print a dot real, it will print real part, or print a dot imaginary, it will print the imaginary part. Or I say print a, it will print the whole number, like this. So this is your numeric literals. Then we are having string literals. You can see string literals, var string. This is a Python string. You can create it in single quotes or you can create it in double quotes. A string is enclosed between single quotes or double quotes. There is no restriction like in C, C++, Java. We start a character with single quotes and a string with double quotes. But in Python, string and character both are same. And we can start them with the single quotes or we can start them with the double quotes. But if we have started with single quotes, we have to end them with the single quotes. If we had started with double quotes, we have to end them with the double quotes. We cannot mix these cases. So this is a string, this is a Python string, symbol string, then this is a simple character, then multi-line string. We can create a multi-line string. This is a multi-line string which spreads in 2 lines. So multi-line strings, they can be created either with the 3 consecutive single quotes or 3 consecutive double quotes. Similarly, end them with the 3 consecutive single quotes or 3 consecutive double quotes. You can have as many lines as you want. There is no restriction. But the position will matter. Like if I writing spread from the beginning, so my output will come from the beginning. If I'm writing spread from the middle, my output will come in middle. Okay. Then we are having, this is a raw string. A raw string always start with the R before the single quotes or double quotes. Note it. A raw string starts with an R before single quotes or double quotes. Okay, so we put R and then the text. That is a raw string. So what is a raw string? A raw string which is not processed. Like here, I'm using /n. This is escape sequences. It means new line. I want to change the line. Here I'm using /t/t. That is horizontal tabs. I want to provide gap between escape and sequences. But if I print this thing, this string, it will be printed as it is without any change. Just see, print variable raw string. It prints as it is without any processing. There is no processing. But if the same string is printed, like this is a normal string, if you see, this is a normal string, and if I print this normal string, then you can see a sample raw and then /n. Okay, this /n. What it means? Change the line. Line has been changed. String with some escape, string with some escape, and then /t/t. A gap between escape and sequence. And then we are having Unicode data types, Unicode characters. So Unicode string starts with U. Unicode strings means it is a string, but it is not having ASCII characters, but it is having Unicode characters and ASCII characters. Now to specify Unicode characters inside the string, we use /u. That means Unicode. Okay, there are 2 Unicode characters. 16-bit Unicode characters I have used. These are 16-bit. I can use 16 bits or I can use 32 bits. If it is there is 4 characters, then that is 16 bits. If there are 8 characters, then this is 32 bits. So there are 4 characters. After /u there are 4 characters. That is 16 bit. Then this entire thing is 1 character basically. And this entire thing is 1 character. So it will be print 1 character NIC, then a character DE. Okay. So what it basically prints? Unicode. Now you can see U, the style of U and style of O. These are not normal characters. These are Unicode characters which are printed. So this is how you can create the strings. Escape sequences. We are having different escape sequences. This is the list of escape sequences. /new line, backslash and new line ignore. Slash new lines means slash and then enter key. If you write somewhere slash and then you press the enter key, so it will ignore both the things. That means it will treat the text as text written into one line. Though you are writing in multiple lines, but it will be treated as the text is written into one line. Just see here, say if I am writing here A is equal to, say, triple quotes, this is multi-line, sorry, this is multiline line, then I press enter key, text. Okay, now if I say print A, this is a multi-line text, note 3 quotes. Okay, this is a multi-line text and you can see the gap. Okay, now if I say A is equal to, rather say B is equal to, again I am creating something like this. I start with single quotes and then say this is multi-line, and then I press the enter key, and immediately I got the error. Why I got the error? Since I have to terminate the text, but I want to spread this text into 2-3 lines. So what I can do like this: B is equal to single quotes, this is not a, then I'm using slash and then I'm pressing enter key, enter. Line has been changed without any error. Multi-line, again I am writing slash and then pressing enter, and then I say text, like this. Okay, there is no error. But this is not a multi-line text. Note it. How? Say print B. When I say print B, you can see it is printed in one single line. Why it is printed one single line? Because when you put a slash and then enter key, it changes the line, but it ignore both the characters. Ignore both the characters means neither slash is treated as a part of the text nor enter key is treated as a part of the text. So though you are writing into multi-lines, but it will not be multi-line, it will be single line. Then we are having double slash. If you want to print a single slash, we are having single quotes, slash single quotes to print a single quote, slash double quotes to print a double quote, slash A to get audible bell, slash B for backspace, slash F, slash R for form feed, carriage return, slash N for new line, slash T for horizontal tab, slash V for vertical tab, and so on. The important part is this one. We are going to use them in our program, this one and this one. Slash single quotes if you want to print a single quote in your text like father's name, slash N new line, you want to change the line, slash T tab, you want to produce a horizontal gap between the text. Then we are having other escape sequences, some special like slash N, that is for Unicode name. If you want to use name from Unicode database, like sometimes we are having key character but we are not having a symbol associated with that particular character. Like just take an example of escape key. If you press the escape key, it will not print any character onto the screen, so there is no character associated with escape, so you can use the name ESC. And similarly the Unicode characters, we have already used slash U with 4 character, that is 16-bit, slash U with 8 characters, that is for 32-bit with capital U. Okay, this is not a mistake. When you use slash U, that means 32-bit hex value. When you use small u, that means 16-bit hexadecimal value. So this is you can provide here. Boolean literal, true and false. We have already discussed. True is the Boolean value and false is the Boolean value. Like if I say 1 is equal to true, so is 1 equal to true? Yes, 1 is equal to true because true means 1 and false means 0. So 1 is equal to true? Yes. So the result is true. Is 1 equal to false? No, 1 is not equal to false. So that is the result is false. True plus 10. True means 1. 1 plus 10, that is 11. And false plus 10. False means 0. 0 plus 10, that is 10. So this is how you can use the true and false value. Spatial literals like x is equal to 5, y is equal to none, defining a function play with argument z. If z is equal to x, if the value of z is equal to x, then it will print the value of x. Otherwise, it will print value of y. So play 10. Is 10 equal to 5? No. Print what? None. It will print none. Now here, play 5. So play 5. If you come here, is z. What is z here? 5. Is 5 equal to 5? Yes. Print x. Print 5. So this is. Then collections. Like we are having list. What is list? Group of comma separated values of any data type between square brackets. It is enclosed always in square brackets. You can see. Mixed data type you can use inside them. Like students, Jana, Punish, Mahesh. Tuple, group of comma separated values with any data type between parentheses. Here the sign changes. It is parentheses. This is list of students. This is tuple of marks. A tuple is immutable. You cannot change it. A list is mutable. You can easily change them. And dictionary, unordered set of comma separated values. Here we are having index like 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. Here also we are having index 0, 1, 2, index 0, index 1, index 2. But we are having a key also. Key I, key double I, key triple I. Or you can say Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3 like this. Then set unordered collection of data type that has no duplicate element. This is the very important part. Set does not have any duplicate record. Set automatically removes the duplicate record. Set always have unique values. So this is set of medals, platinum, diamond, gold, silver, bronze, and so on. So here we have discussed the data types also. We had discussed the identifiers also. We had discussed the literals also. In board examination, questions can be framed like, what do you mean by literal? What are the different types of literal? Distinguish between two type of literal, like what is the difference between 12 and 0, 1, 2. So 12 and 0, 0, 12. 12 is decimal integer and 0, 12 is octal integer. That is the difference between the two. So literals can be used in this way. Or one question which is always asked in board examination is identify the valid identifier and invalid identifier, and also give the reason of invalid identifiers, why an identifier is invalid. So this question, it has been asked last year also, this year also, paper, when the paper will be happen. So this is a very important question which will be asked in the board examination. Make sure. Similarly, what are different data types? What is none? What is true? What is false? How to use true? How to use false? What are the different type of strings we have discussed? How to use them? Okay, so these are some of the important part. Now in next session we will discuss about the integers, data types, operators, and